The Big Voice. KWTN 100.9 FM. Nebraska. The official radio station of the Winnebago Tribe.
All right, KWTN 100.9 FM. Welcome everybody to a beautiful Tuesday here. We've got a little live remote going on, and it's a very special day. I'd like to appreciate everybody that's going to be tuning in. If you have an opportunity, make sure you share this on Facebook. We also have a YouTube channel. We're streaming on 100.9 FM terrestrial on your radio dial if you're in the Winnebago area. And as always, like to say my name is Garan Coons, Communications Officer, known as DJ Guaranteed for the Winnebago Tribe. And we have in this makeshift studio, I guess you should say. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I am Bethani Redhorn, DJ Bethani for the Big Voice Radio, Communications Office Manager here on this lovely day.
Yes. If you guys can help us out here, this is a remote, and we just want to make sure the audio is coming through. So
yes,
yeah, this is if you give us a thumbs up or let us know, or maybe we're just kind of think like we're talking and the audio is not coming through, but I think it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you can help us on out. But nonetheless, we'd like to welcome in our first guest here, and we have a whole slew and a whole heap and a whole plethora of guests that we want to welcome in. Aaron, can you hear us okay? Yep. Okay. Oh, go ahead and give us the mic and give us your introduction.
Well, thanks for having me on the show, Garan and Bethany. My name is Garan Point. I'm the CEO of Ho-Chunk Capital and also the Chief Investment Officer of Ho-Chunk Inc.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. Hopefully everybody can hear us. Give us a wave or a high five, anything like that. Again, today is a very historical day for the Winnebago Tribe. Ho-Chunk Incorporated, the Horsemen, Phase 2 of the Warhorse Casino Omaha division has opened, ribbon cutting, things like that. Why are we here today? What else are you featuring?
Yeah, so today really just started off the next transition of what Warhorse Omaha looks like with the Phase 2 opening. There's a lot more casino space. We've opened up a lot more amenities. That's really the Phase 2 edition offers tons of amenities. We have an ale house, which is really like an upscale sports bar.
Yeah.
You can order food, and then there's a cafeteria with a lot of food as well, and then much more gaming spaces with a lot of new machines. And then, of course, we added the Smokers Lounge upstairs,
yeah,
which is full of machines as well, but it brings in another market of those people that really want to sit down, play a machine, have
yeah,
a cigarette, whatever. That's kind of another addition to this. And our back of house is here now. Before we were kind of in some, campers and all this other kind of stuff. Now our back of house has a nice place to develop, to build a team, and really focus on the workforce here at Warhorse. So we're excited for that as well.
Okay, wow, that is very exciting. We have a camera operator that's with us, and you're plugged into him.
Yes.
So you're going to probably have to direct him and stuff, but we're going to have an angle coming up here shortly, and I think that you can see the monitor here, Aaron. You might want to walk us through as soon as that time comes, but go ahead and talk to Kevin if you can, and then we'll just kind of talk it through as time goes on. Yeah, you can let the viewers know too.
Yeah, so Kev, he's ready.
Okay, let's check it on out.
Bring him up. Yep, so you are up, Kev. So Aaron's going to kind of narrate what we're looking at.
Yeah, just moments ago, we just had the ribbon cutting. Kind of recap that.
Yeah, so this is right here. This is the main entrance. This is newly developed here in Phase 2. This is exactly where the ribbon cutting took place just not too long ago, about an hour ago. And yeah, this is the entryway that most of our guests will use that don't use the parking garage. But yeah, as Kevin makes his way through the front doors, you're going to get to.
Yeah, we'll probably have to relink and stuff, Joys of technology, there's a lot of good things that are taking place and stuff, but she'll cue him up, and nonetheless, when you come in, and maybe that's kind of like commercial break and stuff, because when you come in, it's a whole different vibe and stuff, and we got him back online here. So this is the whole area. Go ahead and walk us through this area here, Aaron.
Yeah, this is really the grand entrance. We have some pretty cool lighting. If he moves the camera up, we have this huge lighting feature. We have lots of murals. As you can see, we're going to be raffling off a car at the grand opening here in a couple of weeks. So make sure to come join us for that. We have escalators that go up to the smokers lounge, but that's also it connects to the parking garage, which is disconnected from the casino.
I wonder if we can get a shot of the lights that you're talking about, because it's very blue when you walk in. Can you tell them to? And there's going to be a drawing. When is that drawing taking place?
On the grand opening, I think it says May 8th. We're going to do a grand opening. That's really for the customers. They're going to be giving away some swag, different things like that, and then obviously they're going to be raffling off that Cadillac. So you can come win some or earn some entries by playing some slot machines, and then that beautiful black Cadillac there will be raffled off.
Ooh, man, there you go, there you have it and stuff. So I think that's pretty exciting. When I walked through that area and stuff, there was a lot of people that said, "Wow." You know, the whole chandelier, if that was what you call it.
Yep.
And then there's a horse behind it. It's like painted by a Native American artist. Do you know who the artist is?
I do not.
Okay.
Maybe once you get Lance on the show, he can give you some more details of some of the artwork and where some of the inspiration came from. But there's lots of murals, very horse focused. If he turns around and faces back to the main entrance, you'll see the other large portrait. There's us.
Behind the curtain. But if he points it up, there you go. Keep going.
There's the large mural.
Dang,
beautiful.
That is huge. And that is amazing, guys, man. What a phenomenal thing. So there's escalators. Where do those escalators go to?
They go up to the parking garage.
Yeah.
So there's a bypass to walk across over to the parking garage, but then there's a smokers lounge at the very top as well. There's some Native American artwork that's being highlighted up there as well. Some Winnebago baskets that were made by an artist in Wisconsin that I'm aware of. And looks like Kevin's making his way to the floor. This is actually the new floor, phase 2. That's been added. I love the new build that it gives a whole different vibe.
Yeah.
Omaha Phase 1 was just retrofitting the existing building.
Oh, okay.
This was a brand new build. So you see the 25 to 30 foot ceilings, lots of different dimension and the architecture. Like they had a lot of freedom. So
wow. The lighting is amazing and stuff, you know. So let's talk about the food court. I don't know, Bethany, if you can direct them over there and stuff, but you got it. It's called the Trifecta food court, and as you know, the collaboration, we'll have Lynn come on here pretty soon and talk about that collaboration and stuff. But what kind of restaurants are featured in here?
This is more of just like a stop in and grab some food. It's a cafe that offers a wide variety of different foods. I actually just got to taste test the fry bread. We have Indian tacos on the menu there.
Okay.
And the fry bread, honestly, it's not bad.
Yeah.
So it's not my grandma's. It's not some of everybody else's favorites, but it's good. It's gonna do. And you throw some meat and some kamachis on there, it'll be good.
Awesome. Well, Aaron, we're gonna have Lynn come on. Let's keep going through the tour here. How many slot machines in this new section?
I don't feel comfortable throwing that number out there. That would be a great question for Lance.
Man,
I do know that it was
though.
A huge addition. Yep, these are all brand new machines. A lot of the best new machines as well. It's not any of the old school stuff you see in some of the older casinos. These are all the most new and advanced machines that we put in our space.
Dang, that is amazing. And then I think you guys also feature like a ale house. Is that it's called the Nebraska?
The Nebraska Ale House. Yeah, it's right next to the Trifecta Cafe. If he takes a left and heads over to the Ale House.
Man, so I want to ask you a question. What does this mean to you?
To me, I guess wearing my tribal member community. I'm a Winnebago tribal member, a lifelong community member. You can see some of my Capital team taking huge bites of food. Hey, Heather.
You might bring them back a little bit. He's starting to lose signal, but
but yeah, what it means, it means so much to me as a community member. especially a young leader in our community, because the impact that Warhorse is going to have on our community. I know we're just getting started. We're still building, actually. Yeah, we've finished another phase, but we're heading over to Lincoln to start phase 3. We're going to start building in South Sioux here very soon, too. So there's a lot more to come, but this is just another one of those milestones. And as a young leader, being able to be a part of it, but also getting to look forward to the impacts that this will have from a financial resource standpoint. But it also means a lot to me to see that we've been able to pave new roads for native enterprises.
Right.
Like the fact that we legalized gaming in a state, we changed the state constitution, and then now we're building these casinos in huge markets. Like that's very next level thinking, and the fact that we executed and we're continuing to execute, it's very inspirational.
Right.
And it really shows me as a young leader that don't think that you're thinking too big. Like, think bigger every time you're talking about something you want to do, because who would have ever thought? Lance had a great quote at the ribbon cutting when he asked one of our late tribal leaders, Louis LaRose, did you ever think we would build a casino in Omaha, Lincoln? He said, not in 100 years. And here we are doing it. So when we're thinking as young leaders, and I'm speaking to the next generation of leadership, we got to be thinking next level. Don't feel like your thoughts are too big for what can happen. No one ever thought that this could ever happen. And look at us. We're right here. We're occupying this space, and we're going to thrive, and we're not slowing down either. To me, this is just the start of Warhorse. And we're definitely setting the bar high. So.
Well, congratulations, man. We're going to have you pass the mic. I know we got a couple more guests that are going to be coming your way and stuff, but Aaron LaPointe, man, good job. It was an honor to interview you, and then also to be down here for this historical day and stuff. Keep up the good work.
Thanks for having me.
That was pretty interesting, and I know you're talking to Kevin. You can go ahead and bring your microphone up.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that. It's pretty interesting. You're usually behind the area and stuff, but
they got a little look-see at us. Yeah.
And then we'll get our next guest and stuff, and get ready to roll and stuff. So, but kind of recap on the way down. We pulled up, and it was pretty interesting in that.
I thought it looked like I don't want to compare it to nothing, but you know what I mean? It was just kind of like, it was like a wow moment, like made my eyes open big. It's like, wow, and this is owned and operated by, Ho-Chunk Inc., but with Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska.
Right. And that's why we're here, is to report back. I know that there's a lot of tribal members and stuff. What does the new area look like? And, if you go to Warhorse and then also the Ho-Chunk Inc. Facebook, not everybody does have Facebook and stuff, but when you walk in, they did give a tour and kind of gave some of the details and everything too. So we invite the folks to take a look at that. But there's nothing like being in person.
No, definitely not. It was beautiful walking in, and really awesome to be able to be here for a historical day for our tribe. So, as Aaron was saying, dream big, think big, and why not set the bar kind of high? So I like that.
While we wait for our next guests and stuff, I think they're kind of make sure.
Said he has a shot.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're gonna go over to. Oh, there you go. There's some. That's us back there.
We want to see the escalator. Can you go up the escalator?
Oh yeah, they do have a really cool display up there that we.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to show, and then how he was talking about the what is it called? The artifacts that they have up there on display and stuff like that.
Yeah. But on the way down, we did have some casino statistics that we wanted to kind of relay.
Okay.
And this is probably like our did you know moment, right?
Yep.
So we always do that on Winnebago Talks and stuff. So did you know? And I didn't know this.
So for our Did You Know that we have for our episode today, there's a couple that I thought was very interesting. So the first one I was reading off to Garan. It said that the world of casino entrepreneurs is not exclusive to men. Mame Stalker, a woman, was one of the pioneers of Las Vegas. She was also the first to be issued a casino license in the city. At that time, her casino only offered 5 legal games: bridge, lowball poker, stud poker, draw poker, and 500. And I just thought that was interesting, as, in history, like with women, not having the right to vote, or just thought that was really awesome that one of the women out there was a pioneer of Las Vegas, which is, of course, known for their casinos.
Definitely.
But also wanted to make mention of the longest poker game lasting 8 years And so it lasted from 1881 to 1889. It was played for 8 years, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Dang, that is crazy. We like to welcome in Did You Know section. That's what we're just kind of talking about here. But give us your introduction for those that don't know, and I don't think a lot of people probably don't know you, but tell us who you are and what you're doing here today.
Aho. I'm Lance Morgan. I'm the CEO of Ho Chunk Inc. and I've been introduced myself as the CEO of Warhorse Gaming, which is sort of appropriate for today. And we're here today to open the spectacular phase 2 of the Warhorse Omaha Casino. The first phase was a remodel, and it was okay. I mean, it was great actually, but it's been doing fine. But we didn't have the food offerings, we didn't have the smoking section, and we didn't have enough games, for peak times. And we didn't have enough parking. It was a construction zone, and so now all the construction is gone. You can walk in through the parking garage. You can smoke upstairs and play if you want. You can have a drink. You can watch the game. You can have the various food items. It's really something special.
That is amazing. So just to recap for those that don't remember, give us the year you were in this facility and it was totally different. Like I was telling Bethany, I remember the night.
2020.
It was 2020, and the night of the election was kind of. So before that, how long was you guys planning?
Well, we tried to get on the ballot 2 years before that and failed, so we did it again. I've been working on this for 8 years, maybe 7, 8 years in some way, shapes, or form. And after we lost out on the Hard Rock competition, we were the Warrior. We knew that Winnebago was going to struggle with competition, so we had to do something. And we had the track in South Sioux that we had bought just really to shut it down so it wouldn't hurt Winnebago. We said, let's see if we can get gaming authorized at the tracks. And since we were putting up all the money for it, we partnered with the Horsemen in Omaha and Lincoln and said, if it by chance passes, long shot, we want to build your casino. And so it passed. And you were there that night in 2020. And I made the comment, when they built those casinos in Council Bluffs, it really hurt Winnebago.
Yeah.
It cut our profits down about 80%. Now it's about 90% with Hard Rock. And the tribe took a portion of the money that they had saved up and started Ho Chunk Inc. And if you ever see those old movies, that's my actual, they gave that to me as a gift. But I can't fit it. It's for being a jockey. I'm gonna need a Clydesdale.
I remember they gave it to you in the partnership, and we'll talk to Lynn too as well and stuff. But
I can't fit that.
I think they got the wrong size.
That's for like a baby. That's like a onesie. What I was gonna say is, you ever see those movies where old movies where they kill the king?
Yeah.
And they go kill the kids. Well, you should have killed us because they tried to take us out with Council Bluffs Casinos and the Hard Rock, but they didn't kill the kid, which is Ho Chunk Inc. And we grew up big enough, and now we built this facility, and we're going to take back from Iowa what they did to the Winnebago tribe. We're going to take it back, and I am dead serious about that because I was there when we laid off 200 people and nobody cared.
Wow. This facility is amazing. Shout out, you gave a lot of shout outs to the tribe, construction, your Warhorse team, your HCI team. It's just a lot of nonstop work and stuff. And man, it finally, how do you feel?
I feel so relieved. You were there when we won the election, and I woke up the next day and I was like, I've been talking a lot of smack. I got to build 3 casinos.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like when Trump won the election, I think in 2016. He didn't think he was going to win, so he didn't have a plan. He's got a plan this time, I think.
Yeah.
But we didn't really have we had a plan. We had to get the architects, we had to do the regulatory stuff, we had to get the financing, we had to get the construction in place. So much has gone on behind the scenes, and it's really a relief that this is open. But all it really means is that we can now refinance. We take the money that we make from here, and we were under budget by quite a bit of money. So we'll take that money and we're going to start construction again to double the size of Lincoln, and because it needs to be a killer in order to keep out competition. And so there's really more room to grow the market. And then we're building the track in South Sioux starting shortly. And depending on how much money we have, we're going to build another casino in South Sioux City also. And that'll either be the fall but much more likely the spring of next year.
There was a lot of obstacles, inflation, different administration, working with the Nebraska state that never had casinos in there, regulate all that and everything, but you guys just kind of kept plugging through. Was there ever a point where you were just going to go up in arms and just say,
We don't, the famous Dave is a Native American. He's a friend of mine. He said the thing about Indians is we survive.
yeah,
Right. And so we're always we're gonna be okay no matter what. But we've learned to persevere. I have a thing at Ho Chunk Inc. where I say nobody's coming to our rescue, right? Nobody cared that Winnebago was getting competition against it. Nobody came to their rescue, right? So we've got to save ourselves. And so this is just that on steroids.
wow.
Yeah.
Man, you got new machines. You have new amenities. You have a parking garage, a ramp to the parking garage that connects to the casino. You guys are giving away a car, and it all kind of ties back to the tribe. So, far as like HCI, Warhorse, the division of that, I think that the Winnebago tribe itself too, there's this progressive, like you said.
Well, the tribe's very interested in what's next, and I think that we're going to have. So the tribe understands that we need to balance reinvesting in the casinos to get them to scale. We've committed that at least $500,000 a month is going to go to the tribe next year, and then we're hoping that goes up to $1 million a month the next year. And so that's going to go a long way towards replacing some of the lost revenue from Winnebago and really helping to figure out ways to boost up our community. That'll allow us to build the casinos and to start paying down. We have $300 million in debt right now. So, this is something to celebrate, but it's a big investment, and you've got to strike the balance of growth, of risk of the debt, and figuring out ways to accelerate the community. And what I don't do this, I don't own it, right? I don't own it more than any other tribal member. I do it because I want people's lives to be better. I want better opportunities, better housing, a better community. And if you spend any time in Winnebago, you can tell our commitment to it, in making the community a better place.
DJ Bethany, did you have any questions or anything that you wanted to say to Lance?
I would just like to ask, maybe if there's a member out there, what would you say to them to encourage them to come on down and check it out?
Well, some people are sort of, Ho Chunk sometimes it's a 50-50 entity in the community. Some people are sort of negative towards it, and some people are super positive. I never quite get that. You got to root for all your kids, right? And we're just the biggest of the Winnebago tribe's children right now. And I think come down here, look at it for yourself, see what you're doing, and something that I take very seriously. And if you look at our structures and our buildings, they're always nice because people don't have that expectation somehow. Like our res is not supposed to be nice. Tribes aren't supposed to have good things. And so I grew up in that era of racism, of how my grandparents were treated and how my parents were treated for being who they were and having low expectations. So I've always tried to make it as nice as possible because I want, hell with those guys. They come check it out. We're gonna blow them away. We're gonna compete against them. We're gonna be better, and it's gonna be awesome. And this is really a manifestation of a first-class entity that looks good and feels good, and you cannot help but feel pride in this. I don't know if you have any pictures of the Nebraska Ale House, but it's pretty cool in there. Yeah.
I think we had Kevin going over there and check it out. Got some of your team members taking a big bite of, I think it was fry bread.
Well,
your review?
Yeah, I heard we had fry bread, and it's actually a little round frozen thing. And I said, oh my God, I'm gonna lose my Indian card, right? And so they popped one in, and it's not too bad, right? Because we have an Indian taco on the menu, and I think Darlene was with me. Darlene Saint's here. She's like, I was trying to get her on camera, making this frozen fry bread, but it didn't taste too bad. It would do in a pinch, I think. And so we've got to sell things at speed and efficiency here. My Kakamarji would roll over in her grave, I think, but it didn't taste too bad.
Nice. Well, Lance, thank you. I know you got to get to media inquiries and other stuff, and so back to your team members. So we appreciate you a few minutes talking to the big voices out there, people back at home in Winnebago. As an opportunity, anything else you want to say? Shout outs?
Well, if you're in Winnebago, get your butt down here. All right, take some pride in the achievements of this is an achievement of the Winnebago tribe and the Winnebago people, and I could not be happier. I'm gonna sleep good tonight.
Nice.
I didn't
nice.
sleep too good last night. I was worried someone's going to pull a fire alarm or something.
It turned out wild, the ribbon cutting. Just kind of recap for that. You said a few things on behalf of, some of those people that are no longer with us. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, there's a famous scene from our tribal history where Louis LaRose got into a little canoe and put on a headdress and it blew off his head backwards or something, but it reversed on him or something. And he claimed the land in Iowa, which later became Winnebago's, right? And then Winnebago's, the money from Winnebago started Ho Chunk Inc. And then Ho Chunk Inc. got big enough to do gaming in Nebraska. And Louis would always show up, and he was struggling a little bit with some of his physical movement, but he showed up to all the ribbon cuttings and the groundbreakings. And I asked him outside here a couple years ago, did you ever think that from when you did that in the little canoe and claimed our land like a colonizer, that we would one day have casinos in them? He goes, not in a million years. Right, and so he couldn't show up here today, but Kenny Mallory, his brother, was here.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to acknowledge Louis' contribution, and he's the guy that hired me as an intern when I had a month to kill between summers in my law school, and I basically just drove him around, but he taught me a few things. And then I mentioned Kenny Mallory when he was on the council. My financial aid was messed up, and they gave me $500, and that was a big amount of money then, but it kept me in college. I joked that I was about to start paying that back today. We probably got it already, but
there you go.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Lance.
Get down here. Check
Yep.
it out.
Thanks,
All right.
Lance.
All right. See you guys.
All right. So can I add another couple of them?
Yeah, and go ahead and pass the microphone, Lance, if you can, to the next person. But go for it. Did you know?
So the other one that I wanted to mention, it was really interesting. So before I read it off to Garan, I said, this one's kind of weird. I was like, the numbers on a roulette wheel equal 666.
Yeah.
So you may have heard the following before and disregarded it as propaganda against gambling, but it's actually a fact. The total of the numbers on the roulette wheel equals that.
Wow. So that's that. I did not know that.
It's just
actually.
like a random weird fact that we was looking at all these interesting things, and that one was like, oh, this one's kind of weird, and I told him, and it got that like, what? That kind of reaction from him. So.
We'd like to welcome in our next guest here. Thank you for joining us. I know you guys are busy, but go ahead and give us your
that's
introduction.
okay. Lynn McNally, CEO of the Horsemen.
All right. Lynn, what does this day mean to you and your crew?
It's beyond our wildest dreams, and we can't believe the day's finally here. We started on this project with Ho Chunk in 2015.
Wow.
So it's been 10 years now. 2015, Lance came to my board with the idea to go into a partnership together to try to get casino gaming, commercial casino gaming in the state of Nebraska. And, we had a couple of false starts, but here we are.
Build it and they will come, huh?
Build it and they will come. Did you see how busy it is already?
Yeah. We had Kevin go around, and there's a lot of new machines. I know the casino enthusiasts.
Brand new. They're all brand new.
And there's kind of a superstition, in my family and stuff. They say that the newer slot machines pay out more. I don't know how true that is and stuff. We have to kind of test that a little bit.
Yeah.
But we're not down here to gamble. We're just here to witness history.
Yeah.
And the things that took place here. Very beautiful facility. Any questions that you want to ask her?
Lynn, with you kind of lead the way for the horsemen and stuff, so maybe there's a female out there that is interested in getting into gaming. What would you say to encourage them to kind of follow down that path?
Huge opportunities, particularly at Warhorse. It's very much an industry where you can work your way up. So, you can start as a dealer and end up in upper management, and a lot of them do.
That is awesome.
I think especially for tribal members, I think that it's a great opportunity. And, don't forget, they're going to start building Warhorse South Sioux City soon. So, it'll be, 20 minutes away from the reservation?
Yes.
So, I'm sensitive to the fact that, we've got locations in Lincoln and Omaha. I certainly don't want to pull tribal members away from the reservation if that's where their home is. But I think there's a great opportunity up there for them.
So sorry, I cut your mic off and stuff, but go ahead. We do have, I don't know if that background, we did get a comment, the background music seeping into the stream, but nonetheless, it's the joys of being on a live remote.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the organization of the Horsemen. What are they in charge of?
Well, so we do all of the live racing and we do the simulcasting at the casino. So without live racing, you can't hold a gaming license in the state. So without live racing, you can't have a casino. So we take care of all that. The live meet for us starts May 9th in Lincoln.
Yeah.
And we're running 5 weekends this year, which is significantly more than we ran last year. And as you know, Garan, you are the in-between entertainment. So if anyone wants to come down and check you out, they can do that.
Yeah. And so is it cost to get in and kind
No,
of
totally free to get in.
Free 99.
And you know, great food options, great beer options. You know, we sell buckets of beer, and it's a great place to be out in the open, have, you know, get some fresh air and watch some horses run. It's just really, really exciting.
So now, do you think, connected to the war horse and everything, at one point, horse tracks were kind of in the background and
Yes.
not as prevalent as they once were?
Yeah, they were really struggling. Since the casinos have opened, purses at racetracks across Nebraska have doubled,
Wow.
and they're going up from there. So, you know, we so much appreciate the partnership with the tribe. Kenny Mallory was here today. Eugene DeCoro was here today. It was just really great to see them, and we're so appreciative of the partnership. Without you guys, none of that would be possible. So we just really are thankful and really grateful.
I think that we know a lot about HCI back at home. We don't know a lot about the horsemen. So if you can indulge us with some questions here.
Sure.
How did you get involved in being part of
I
that
have
horse?
spent my entire professional career in gambling of one kind or another.
Really?
So I started as legal counsel for the legislature,
Okay.
and I worked for the committee that oversaw gambling.
Oh, okay.
And then the state lottery hired me. I was the chief legal counsel at the state lottery for a while, and I've been with the Horsemen now for 22 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the horsemen, they are just
The owners and trainers at the racetrack. And the horsemen in Nebraska are unique because we are the only horsemen's group in the United States that owns their own tracks. So everyone else just shows up at the place and runs. The problem with that is there are other states that tie horse racing to the casinos. Well, for the casino, it's a drag on their revenue. You know, they pour a bunch of money into racing, and so eventually they go to the state legislature and say, well, we don't want to have racing to have a casino anymore. They call it decoupling. They're doing it in Florida right now. Well, the wonderful thing about Nebraska is that we're the landlord, we own the property. So we don't ever have to worry that a casino company is going to say we don't want you anymore because we own the property and the two largest locations in the state. So, you know, outside companies, for example, in Grand Island and Columbus might have the idea that they don't want to be tied to racing anymore, but it doesn't really matter because Lincoln and Omaha are owned by the Horsemen.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
I'm hoping our relationship will continue long after I'm gone.
Wow. And you got many, many years.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the horsemen and live racing, is there going to be live racing in Omaha?
Live racing in Omaha, we have 5 days starting in July. And what we're hoping for is as we evolve and get more barn space in Lincoln, Lincoln is really where we're going to run most of our days. We're hoping to go to 60, 80 days down there. It's going to be a lot. But we would eventually love to get the relay teams to come out and put
Indian
on
horse relay.
Yes.
I see you guys have a display up there.
I would love to see that. I saw them at the state fair and I was amazed.
Yes.
You have to be a young person to do that.
Oh, man. I think what they say, like 100% injury rate.
Well, there would have to be.
I mean,
Just at that day when I went, I think 3 or 4 of them fell
yeah.
and right back up. Like nothing happened.
Yeah.
It was crazy to me. But yeah, I mean, being able to jump on a horse as it's moving and race is just amazing. And I would really love people in Lincoln to see that. So.
Lynn, we appreciate your time. I know you got to get back out there, meet the dignitaries. You got a lot of VIPs here and stuff.
Yes, we
but
do.
When they cut that ribbon, how'd you feel?
It was like 5 years of stress released in that very moment. It was really, really nice to see. You know, fall of 2020 was when this passed.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time coming, but we're finally here, and we're finally going to see the fruits of everyone's hard work.
I want to say thank you because I went to cash out a ticket, and the change, as you know, we're in a coin shortage and everything
Yes.
else and stuff like that, but it says, do you want to donate your change?
Yes.
And on there were some Winnebago entities.
Yes.
Cool. That is
Yeah.
awesome. So whoever had the thought and feeling to do that and
Yeah.
stuff, you know what I mean?
That was Lance, and he wanted to give back to the community. You know, sometimes with those charitable organizations, it's difficult to find fundraising opportunities, you know, ways, and, you know, a relatively small amount of money makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So we were happy to do that.
Anything else for Lynn?
Just the same question that I posed to Lance of maybe we have a member out there listening from the Winnebago tribe. If you could offer them some words of encouragement to come on down to check out the Warhorse Casino, what would you say to them?
Please come down. This is your place. You know, you own it. The tribe owns it, and you're one of the few tribes in the United States that owns commercial casinos, which is very difficult to do, but you've done it. You
Yeah.
know, the Seminole tribe, you're right up there with the Hard Rock Seminoles. So I think that's something to be really proud of.
More to
That's
come.
awesome.
We're
Yes.
probably going to interview you when, what's the next step?
Well, so we're planning phase 3 for Lincoln right now.
Wow.
We're in meetings right now to double the size of that casino.
What will,
so
what will that feature? Like phase three, more any?
doubling the gaming floor. We're going to have a VIP room. We're going to have a high roller room. We're going to have a steakhouse. We're going to have a really elaborate sports bar with a huge, massive sports betting screen. It's just going to be amazing. But yeah, onward and upward. We're never done building.
Definitely. Do you have and I think horse racing? So where can we find more information about horse racing if we want to attend one of these live events?
Just go on nebraskaracing.com
Okay.
and check it out. Or do a Google search for Lincoln, Nebraska live meet, and it'll come up that way too.
Nice. I know those horse tracks. Wanted to say, make a good power arena too.
Yes, they would. Yes, they would.
So we'll put that bug in you guys.
Garan
ear.
always with the ideas.
Thanks, Lynn. We appreciate you, and man, congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Just to
Lynn.
let you know, Warhorse and the Horsemen both are contributing to sponsor the powwow this year.
Yep.
And
Awesome.
we did last year, so we're really looking forward to that.
Nice.
Awesome. Speaking of that, take this opportunity. They had bestowed the honor of me being the master of ceremonies.
You did?
Yeah,
oh, you
so-
got that? Oh, congratulations.
If you have an opportunity, make sure you join us for that weekend. It's the last full weekend in July,
Yes.
July 26th, that weekend.
I will be there.
And we'll see you guys there. So
This will be, I think, my 6th year going.
nice.
Really, really enjoy it.
Yes. Make sure you stay hydrated though. But
Fry bread. Come for the fry bread.
Save the date on that
Stay
one.
for the dancing.
Thanks, Lynn.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Lynn. And then to follow up with that, I want to mention that, you know, maybe a listener out there is going to be unable to attend in person. We'll have our live stream available.
Yes,
So
definitely. All right. Wow, we are getting ready to come off the air. Maybe can we get Kevin to get back on the line
Can we
here?
get Kevin to? Can we get Kevin to?
Yeah, Kevin came all the way down here to, and I know he's going to be busy, but lead him through. Let's get another tour if we
Yeah,
can.
can you show us another thing of come through the door and do like the point of view coming in through the main entrance and then maybe loop on the escalators or
Yeah,
loop
just
on
walk
the
'em through.
escalators
Just-
then show the gaming.
Let's see if we can talk them through this and stuff.
Yeah.
But we have the ability to kind of go wireless, and we're trying to
Yes.
got some new equipment here and some old equipment that kind of faulty. Behind the scenes and stuff, there's the old duct tape.
Yeah, we have to MacGyver it.
Call you Bethany MacGyver.
I was like, so on the way down when I was thinking about that popped in my head, and I'm like, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes,
So.
yes. Well, go ahead and I'll turn it over to you and Kevin here, and talk to the viewers and talk Kevin through what is he going through now. Let's see.
Alright, so he's going out of the main entrance. What he's going to do is he's going to show us a point of view. So if you've never, excuse the whitewash a little. We got to bring the lighting down a little bit. But he's showing us a point of view. And so this
man.
is what you'd see out at the main entrance.
You know what this reminds me of? Like, like those huge
He
casinos.
said this is what you'd see. Do I say that or no?
Well, like we see it right now, and this is like those casinos, like Mystic Lake Casino, is huge, and it's
Oh yes.
oh man, look at that garage, and look at the skywalk. You can pull
Where
your
you're
car
laying
up.
down.
I don't know if they have valet and stuff, but man, there's plenty of parking. There's a garage there. You don't have to go too far,
Yep.
and yeah, keep walking them through.
Yep. Here we go. So now we're gonna walk through. He's gonna go forward, bring us through the main entrance doors, and so that's what I was saying. Like, it's a very much a wow. Like, I was just like, this is beautiful. Like, and I'm not like an interior or like designer, like
Yeah.
know it all or anything, but
Man, take a look, guys. So beautiful signage. I
Oh.
think he always loses signal right
yeah,
there,
right
it
there.
comes
But
back.
he's gonna come back on.
And
we
let's
go.
get a closer
Keep
look.
on
So
coming.
the camera doesn't really do it justice, folks. We
No,
apologize.
bring the
And-
lighting down, Kev.
Yeah, and it's nice and blue there. It sets almost like a vibe. Like when you're walking in, you're kind of walking into, I don't know, like the Emerald City, but this is the Warhorse Casino.
I know.
And the main reason we come down here is to kind of talk
Yeah.
about what it means to the Winnebago tribe as tribal members. There's economic opportunities. There's always went up to escalate. There's opportunities to we seen. I think you had a relative that works here.
Yeah, shout out to Jimbo.
Works here, and then Jared. I've seen another tribal member. He was the one that helped out with the sound system and the IT, and man, I was like, geez, there's over probably 1,000 slot machines here, but there was the world's loudest loudest machine.
Oh, it was, yep. And so luckily that wasn't seeping through the airwaves of us doing our interviews here. So,
Right.
but hopefully they won.
I go and point him towards the
I'll
announce.
turn around real quick, Kev.
Yeah, if he can go to
Kev,
this.
wait, don't go down there.
Turn around, Kev. Turn around, Kev. This is fun. It reminds me of Practical Jokers, right? See? But ask him to go to the smoking section because, yeah, just go ahead and talk on the microphone too, Bethany. Talk to our viewers here. So he's turning around, but we have to have a little fun,
Yeah, let
right?
me know when you're at the top. He's gonna show us this smokers lounge, but just looking around, so being able to virtually show everybody that point of view, that's what I was trying to say was, it would just be like what he's seeing. So as he's walking through, we get to see the gaming floor. We got to see a lot of their beautiful artwork, their lighting. What else is there? The slot machines, of course. There's lots of them. They're new, and the good food that hopefully we'll get to try.
I wonder what the price tag is on this and stuff. I think they announced the expansion dollars and everything too.
Yeah.
They have to declare it, but man, it's just shout out to the construction team. And in fact, they're still doing some upgrades as we speak outside. Some landscaping. They have beautiful Winnebago baskets there. They have a display. The Horsemen presented that to Lance and stuff, but this is for those that are smokers. They have a whole section here for you guys, and I appreciate that because I'm not a smoker. And on the floor, necessarily you don't have to go in there, and it looks like they kind of have like filtration. It's almost like it seems like it's outside, but there's a roof over it, and then there's air from the outside that comes in and stuff. So that's pretty cool. But we might lose signal on him. You might want to turn him around, Bethany. But one of the things too is they got some amenities. Looks like those are brand new slot machines, haven't been played. Looks like we got Mr. Bass there from Capital, but nonetheless, yeah.
Really awesome. And so when we were coming down, I got confused because like Garan had asked me if I had ever came down to Warhorse Omaha, and I actually did, but I thought I was mixing it up with Lincoln. I don't know how I mixed up Lincoln and Omaha, but I was just like, wow, it's beautiful. So it was awesome to be able to come down and do this remote show, do a live, Winnebago Talks, and have Lance, Lynn, who was that one? Aaron LaPointe, and then just for them to be able to share some of the really historical information that Warhorse is.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Bethany, it's been a historic day for the big boys as well, and we appreciate HCI sponsoring this, and I think that they, anytime we have an opportunity to cover some of the events and things like that, we appreciate them too. So anything that you want to say?
we also wanted to make mention that we were aware of the stuff that's going on back home too. And so there is an event that's happening today that I would like to make mention of. It's happening at 12 o'clock p.m. at Big Bear Park. And so if you are looking at taking part in some Earth Day 2025 festivities, some tree planting initiatives are taking place at 12 p.m. at Big Bear Park. So you can join the Winnebago Wildlife and Parks Department. And so they're going to have lunch, and you can also receive one free tree to plant. Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska is working towards the goal to protect the trees, conserve our forests, and save our planet. And I wanted to add in that, like, growing up in Winnebago, I always took so much like pride, like, in our, like, the way that, like, we have all of that out in the country, and, like, because I grew up in the country.
Area.
Yeah.
Beautiful area. I remember when the kids last year, they went down there, and they went from the Springs all the way down to Big Bear Park, and they went to the river and offered tobacco to the river and stuff, because water is life. It was pretty powerful. And I remember the next day being pretty sore, but you think about it, we went from the Springs up there. I forgot what Springs it was and stuff. It was family name, all the way down, and the river. So shout out to Wildlife and Parks, Jewel and the company and stuff doing that. We just got notification on the way down that they were doing that too, so we apologize, but we posted that on the Big Voice, and as well as other areas and stuff too. So if you have opportunity, check it on out. What are you going to do for Earth Day?
I think I'm going to go for a walk and just take in some nature. Yeah,
there you go. There's a flyer for that.
Yes.
And that's taking place, and they did mention come down and grab a lunch.
Definitely. And so if you're able in the Winnebago community, some good Earth Day festivities.
Yeah. So, man, what do we got for the rest of the week?
So we do have the Big Hour, and so that's live over the noon hour. We are going to also have a bye week for our sports show, so you can catch them next week with a new episode, but we'll have all requests live. Want to give you a shout out for holding it down for me last week for ARL. And so we came out with the same reigning champion, so Credence Clearwater Revival's holding it down. So we'll have that new top 5 coming out today on
Shout
Facebook.
Shout out to MC Eves that submitted that one.
Yep.
Oh,
Virtual Daps.
Yeah.
And so we have that on Thursday at 11 a.m. We had Res Red with MCBKC, 4 p.m. We do get into replay with Baby Bison Beats at 7. So that's all on Thursday. Into Friday, we have the Friday Night Hot Mix with DJ Blue, Midnight Love with MCBKC.
Oh, we did a good one. We sang.
Yes, I loved that one. I was jamming out, man. I was like in my glory.
We posed the question, if you had an opportunity to save somebody and you needed to sing, what artist would you bring to the karaoke stage? And we had a battle. Me and you had a battle because
it was a versus.
It was a versus, and you had The Weeknd and I had Cisco.
Yep, and I won. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Well, Cisco can dance, but not The Weeknd. But
so we got each other. You got me there. I got up and walked away. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it was good. It was a good one. So that's at 10 p.m. Friday nights. Friday Night Hot Mix with DJ Blues at 7 p.m. And so I know that the last episode featured some variety, and really appreciate those because it's nonstop hits and a nonstop mix.
I want to say that just to recap my thoughts here as we come down.
Yep.
Is that it's pretty important, pretty historical day for the area. The state of Nebraska, HCI, the Winnebago Tribe. I remember, and this is how it benefited me. As you know, we are always going to put out that PSA, public service announcement, to our big voicers. Gamble within your means. It's entertainment. Don't bet over your head. I think there's some information out there. If we were looking at, you can self-ban yourself if it's a problem.
Yep.
And when I was growing up, there was a whole generation, and probably a lot of people can relate to this. They used to call us bingo babies, meaning that a lot of our parents, grandparents, and our relatives would go over, play bingo, and we would have to kind of fend for ourselves. That probably made us stronger in kind of in a way. Things did happen and stuff, but nonetheless, I remember benefiting from Winnebago, the casino industry, as a youth. And how it did is that there was an opportunity to go to a Timberwolves game, and Winnebago chartered a bus, paid for the tickets, and I still remember that to this day. I want to say I was maybe in 8th grade.
core memory.
Yeah, when that took place, and I was like, wow, who paid for that, or how did that happen and stuff? And it was Winnebago's casino, and it had an impact on my life because I was like, I only seen NBA on TV. I never had an opportunity. You know, I don't think our family made a lot of money so that we could afford tickets to go to an NBA game. But man, we got to go as, you know, junior high kids. And that just kind of motivated me to try hard in basketball, try hard in my school, because they took the kids that had a good, you know, attendance and good, what do they call it, grade point average.
Like an incentive.
Yeah. So I'm excited for the future to see how this relates and how this is going to benefit the youth. And that's one of the reasons we covered today is that you get to see the ribbon cutting, but on the back end and all the customers, the patrons, the workers, it all evolves around that. And hopefully, you know, you heard Lynn talk about how it benefits the Winnebago Power. Yeah. And I did not know that. So hopefully they, you know, donate a lot, because we want that Power celebration to be nice and big and invite everybody for the homecoming celebration, because it's honoring Chief Little Priest and the return of the Company A Scouts. It's honoring all veterans from all walks of life, no matter if they're here with us today, if they're in the spirit world, or if they're active duty, you know, the servicemen and women. So that's my recap.
Yeah. No, and I'll follow in that sense too, because with Winnebago's, that was actually my first ever job. And I worked in the bingo hall. I worked out there twice, and I worked in the bingo hall both times. But coming up, how you mentioned like just the whole upbringing with a lot of the grandparents and the parents being in the casino. I remember hearing stories of it. And so I do remember like whenever my mom would bring my choka to the casino, and, you know, we'd all just be chilling while he went in, and, you know, we'd hit up all the casinos. We had a little area where he'd make sure he hit his rounds, and just those kind of memories and stuff. So seeing that and being here today and knowing that I have my little ones, like my god babies, my nieces, my nephews, my little brothers, like, you know, just your family in general, and like all your friends' kids, like all the youth in general are gonna have, you know, all these things available to them that, you know, come in a good way. So I'm really glad that we were able to make it down, and that we were able to host Winnebago Talks here. And I think it's a good thing, and with, you know, everything that I've had going on, I think that I needed to see some good positivity. So it was good to be here.
For sure. Thank you, Bethany, for those words. And folks, you have a good rest of your day. We appreciate everybody tuning in. We are Winnebago Talks, 100.9 FM, broadcasting out of Allen, Nebraska, the official radio station of the Winnebago tribe. Thank you to Kevin Ebert, who was behind our camera, and MC Eves for helping us out. Thank you for being the host, also the producer, also just all-around person, Bethany. You know, it's very important that you're here today, too. And thank you guys for tuning in and stuff. You guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you.